The Zarathian Imperial fleet hung in space like a storm of metal and malice, their 1,000 warships blotting out the stars. Admiral Korthax stood on the bridge of his flagship, six eyes gleaming with satisfaction as Earth rotated peacefully below, seemingly unaware of its impending doom. Primitive species, he clicked his mandibles dismissively. They haven't even colonized their moon properly. This will be over in minutes. His tactical officer's tentacles rippled in agreement. The Zarathians had conquered 100 worlds, each falling within standard cycles. Earth, with its fractured nations and crude technology, would be their easiest victory yet. Commence planetary bombardment, Korthax ordered. But before his fleet could fire, a single human shuttle rose from Earth's surface. It was laughably small, barely a speck against the armada. Through the view screen, Korthax could see two humans inside. A young woman with determined eyes and an older man with graying hair. "Sir, they're requesting communication," his communications officer reported, barely suppressing amusement. "Let them beg," Korthax laughed. "Put them through." The woman appeared on screen, her voice steady despite facing annihilation. "I'm Dr. Aaron Chen, Earth's representative. This is Professor Frederick Barnes, our chief physicist. We're here to accept your surrender." The bridge erupted in laughter. Korthax's six eyes watered with mirth. "You dare—" 47 seconds, Frederick interrupted calmly, checking his watch. "That's how long your fleet has to surrender before we activate our defense system." "Defense system?" Korthax snarled. "Your nuclear weapons are primitive toys. Your spacecraft are centuries behind ours." Aaron smiled slightly. "You're making the same mistake everyone does. You looked at our technology and assumed you understood our capabilities." 30 seconds, Frederick announced. Korthax had conquered enough worlds to recognize genuine confidence. Something was wrong. "Scan their planet again." "Deep scans!" The results made his blood freeze. Beneath Earth's surface, hidden by what appeared to be primitive infrastructure, lay a network of quantum entanglement generators. Not dozens, not hundreds, millions. 15 seconds, Frederick said conversationally. "You see, Admiral, while you were developing bigger ships and better weapons, we were asking different questions. Not how to destroy, but how to fundamentally alter reality itself." "Impossible," Korthax roared. "Quantum manipulation on that scale would require the combined mental focus of 8 billion sentient minds." Aaron completed. "Yes, it would. Fortunately, humans are rather good at working together when facing extinction." 5 seconds. Korthax screamed the order to retreat, but it was too late. Frederick pressed a simple button on his console. Nothing happened. Then everything happened. Reality hiccuped. Space itself seemed to fold inward around each Zarathian ship. It wasn't an explosion or an implosion, it was an erasure. One moment, the 1,000-strong armada existed. The next, they simply didn't. No debris, no energy signatures, no quantum remnants. They had been edited out of existence like deleted words from a document. The only survivor was Korthax himself, left floating in a small emergency pod that Aaron had deliberately excluded from the effect. "Impossible," he whispered, his six eyes wide with terror. "The energy requirements alone would be impossible for any single power source," Frederick agreed, bringing the pod aboard their shuttle. "But Earth doesn't use single power sources. Every human brain is a quantum computer, Admiral. Every child learning arithmetic, every adult solving problems, every elderly person remembering, all of it contributes to our planetary consciousness network." Aaron handed the shaking Admiral a cup of tea. Earl Grey, Earth's traditional beverage for shell-shocked visitors. "Your fleet made the mistake of threatening Earth openly. When humanity faces extinction, we don't just unite, we synchronize. 8 billion minds focused on a single thought, no. But your wars, your divisions, we studied your history. Oh, we fight among ourselves constantly," Frederick chuckled. "Like siblings do. But threaten our home?" He shook his head. "That's when you learn what humanity really is." Korthax's translator struggled with Aaron's next words. "We call it the Gaia Protocol. Earth itself becomes our weapon. Not through technology you can scan or shields you can break, but through collective will made manifest. We discovered it accidentally, actually. During our first global meditation day in 2087, turns out, when enough humans think the same thought at the same time, reality listens." The shuttle approached Earth, and Korthax could see lights beginning to twinkle across the planet's night side. Not cities, but celebrations. Humanity had known. They had all known, had all participated, had all focused their minds in that singular moment of defense. "What will you do with me?" Korthax asked, defeated. "Send you home," Aaron said simply, "with a message for the Galactic Council. Earth is under the protection of humanity. We don't seek war, but we are not prey. We are not subjects. We are not conquests," Frederick added with a grandfather's smile. "We're the species that looked at the laws of physics and decided they were more like guidelines. We turned our greatest weakness, our emotional, chaotic nature, into our ultimate strength. Because while you were building fleets, we were learning to dream together." As Korthax's pod was prepared for its journey home, he asked one final question. "How long have you had this capability?" Aaron and Frederick exchanged glances. "About 6 hours," Aaron admitted. "We finished the last quantum generator this morning." "You have the honor of being our first field test." Korthax fainted. Later, as his pod streaked toward Zarathian space, the recording of Earth's defense would spread across the galaxy. Not a tale of superior firepower or advanced technology, but something far more terrifying, a species that could reshape reality through sheer collective will. The message was clear. Humanity had not reached for the stars because they couldn't. They simply hadn't needed to. They were too busy turning their world into something far more powerful than any fleet. A living weapon powered by the synchronized consciousness of billions. Earth stood alone among the stars. Not isolated but independent. Not weak but transcendent. And the galaxy learned a new phrase that day, one that would echo through the cosmos for millennia. Never wake the sleeping Earth.